What's going on YouTube? It's Universal Fragrances here, back with another video, and this is on the house of Orto Parisi. We have Terroni. Now I know this review has been coming for quite some time. I've actually had this fragrance for over a month now, and I wanted to wear it 2 or 3 times just so I could get a good idea of what the fragrance was, how it develops, and I have to say after wearing it 2 or 3 times, I personally love Terroni. It's not going to be for everybody. This is very similar. Not in terms necessarily of how it smells, but the vibe that it gives off is very similar to Silver Oud from Amouage, Ether from Xerjoff, Neiman Lion from Argos. It's a little bit woody, ashy, slightly smoky. Not really that smoky, but more ashy and woody. A little bit animalic and funky. Just a beautiful fragrance though, very unique. I personally love it. It's very masculine. Got a really good raspberry note in there, and it's not a candied, fake, sweet raspberry. Some of these other raspberries you encounter in a lot of fragrances, they're heightened up and sweetened by vanilla and tonka bean as other notes to kind of help uplift that raspberry note. And this, they kind of stuck to the script. This is supposed to be, from my reading, to represent a volcano in Italy. I believe it was Mount Vesuvius, supposed to represent the foothills of that. So you do get that, you don't get anything overly sweet or overly friendly in this fragrance. It is what it is, and again, it's not going to be for everybody, but people who appreciate this type of fragrance, I think, will really love it. And the longevity on here is actually really good just because of the base notes. You get a lot of woods in here. I'm not going to give specifics on longevity or projection. All that depends on your nose, your environment, how much you spray. There's just so many variables. People want, oh, is it 14 hours? Like, how is anybody really supposed to tell you that honestly without bullshitting you? Nobody is. They just put it in their videos, and that's what it is to them, and then somebody else says something different, and then, oh, no, it's not. It's 10 hours, or I only got 8 hours because someone may have sprayed 10 sprays, the other person may have only sprayed 3, and it really is just dependent on somebody's nose. So, again, I don't like getting into specifics with that stuff, but it's a 20% oil concentration, very woody and heavy fragrance, so yes, it lasts quite a long time. One of my next purchases from this house was going to be Megamar, and I know that's a lot of people's favorite. I looked at the notes of it, and there's a note in there that I do not like in a lot of fragrances. It's called Cologne, I believe is how it's pronounced. It almost looks like cologne, but it's spelled differently, and it's kind of like an ozonic C note. And I smelled that before in Bond Number 9 Jones Beach. Not a huge fan of it, not a huge fan of that fragrance. Fire Island is a lot better from Bond Number 9. Unfortunately, it's no longer made, but I will not be buying Megamar for that reason. And also I'm going to be buying Oceana from Roja Dove. I've got Octanez coming from Unique Luxury. I also have Blue Sapphire and Aqua Sapphire, which I'm probably going to be purchasing from Boadicea the Victorious. So Megamar, it doesn't really hold a huge place in my collection in terms of how I'm going to be using it. So looking at the notes of some of the other Orto Parisi fragrances, I know the person who recommended this to me was Junbu. He told me to look into Brutus. The notes seem pretty interesting in Brutus, but I tell you, the one that caught my attention was Sturkis. It's very animalic, leathery, oud, and wood-heavy kind of fragrance. And I love Terroni and Bocanera, and both of those are kind of that direction. And Orto Parisi did such a good job with Terroni and Bocanera that Sturkis is most likely going to be my next purchase from the house of Orto Parisi. So again, guys, Terroni, great fragrance, very well blended, extremely woody, ashy, really good raspberry note on there, very natural, kind of a bitter, acidic raspberry, just as it should be. Not a sweet or friendly fragrance. This is not created to be mass appealing. And for that reason, there's going to be some people that say it's not that great. But again, if you like fragrances like Ether from Xerjoff, Silver Oud from Amouage, Neiman Lion from Argos, this fragrance is probably going to be for you. So I'd highly recommend Terroni if you enjoy those types of fragrances. If not, maybe worth a pass. But either way, if you're interested in it, get a sample, because I was surprised. I knew I was going to like it just from the notes and the recommendation that I got. And after wearing it 2 to 3 times, it's definitely one of my favorite wood fragrances in all my collection, just because of how unique it is. And it is, even though it has some complexity to it, it's also kind of a simple fragrance. You can tell it's not really trying to be too hard. It's not trying to be mass appealing. It's not one of those fragrances that's trying to go too far in one direction to be also too unique. Even though it is a unique fragrance, it's not like a wild fragrance. It's definitely well blended, and there was probably a lot of time involved in creating this fragrance. So for that, I appreciate it, man. I feel like Orto Parisi is a little bit kind of like my channel. There's not a lot of fluff, packaging, not that great, but hey, that's not really that important, because what you're paying for and what you really want to be good is the juice in the bottle. And both Bocanera and Terroni so far for me are very good. So yeah, Sturkis for me on Orto Parisi's house, that's probably going to be next. And I got a lot of stuff coming from Unique and Luxury as well. I actually reached out to the owner. He sent me all 17 samples, I believe it was, from Unique Luxury. So I've been going through those this week. I'm going to be purchasing 5 more full bottles. I already have 3. I have Mashumaro, Beverly Hills exclusive, and I have Kute. And there's 5 more that I'm going to be ordering. So I'm going to be doing some videos on Unique Luxury soon. And then I'll be moving on to Roja Dove and Bodicea the Victorious probably after that in a couple months. So stay tuned, guys. We got a lot of stuff coming. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. Going to be a huge milestone for the channel. And I'll be seeing y'all soon for my next review. Bye.